Good morning, everybody. How are we all today? Another bright sunny day outside, which is nice. I'm not sure if my Facebook Live bit is working yet. Oh, I think it is. Right, good morning on Facebook as well. Sorry, there was a bit of a delay. I'm not getting any better at this, am I? Oh dear. I can tell that things are going awry because I've now lost my first pair of glasses and I'm wearing these ones because I don't know where they've gone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Um, I've got a little pile of books to read this morning. I'm going to start off with a book that I read from before, When We Were Very Young, by A. Milne. And I only noticed this morning, I've had this for a long time, that it doesn't say illustrated by, it says decorations by E.H. Shepherd. And I think that's adorable. They are, they're decorations. They're very beautiful decorations. So Elspeth asked me to read a couple of poems today. I've gone off list, Elspeth, but I'm reading some fun ones anyway. So the first one is Lines and Squares. And you can message me and tell me if you ever used to do this when you were little, or if you still do it now. I'm going to admit something. I still do this now. Called Lines and Squares. There's the illustrations or the decorations for it. Whenever I walk in a London street, I'm ever so careful to watch my feet, and I keep in the squares and the masses of bears who wait at the corners all ready to eat. The sillies who tread on the lines of the street go back to their lairs. And I say to them, bears, just look how I'm walking in all the squares. And the little bears growl to each other, he's mine, as soon as he's silly and steps on a line. And some of the bigger bears try to pretend that they came round the corner to look for a friend. And they try to pretend that nobody cares whether you walk on the lines or squares. But only the sillies believe their talk. It's ever so important how you walk. And it's ever so jolly to call out, bears, just watch me walking in all of the squares. I don't think there are any bears in Brentwood though. Okay. Okay, that's the first one. Second one is Bad Sir BrianBotany. There's a little picture of him here. He's very naughty. That's probably why I like him. I like the naughty characters. Sir Brian had a battle axe with great big knobs on. He went among the villagers and blipped them on the head. On Wednesday and on Saturday, but mostly on the latter day, he called at the cottages, and this is what he said. I am Sir Brian, tingling. I am Sir Brian, rat-tat. I am Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Take that, and that, and that. Sir Brian had a pair of boots with great big spurs on, a fighting pair of which he was particularly fond. On Tuesday and on Friday, just to make the street look tidy, he'd collect the passing villagers and kick them in the pond. I am Sir Brian, splash. I am Sir Brian, splosh. I am Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Is anyone else for a wash? Sir Brian woke one morning and he couldn't find his battle axe. He walked into the village in his second pair of boots. But he'd gone 100 paces when the street was full of faces and the villagers were round him with ironical salutes. You are Sir Brian, indeed. You are Sir Brian, dear, dear. You are Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Delighted to meet you here. Sir Brian went on a journey, and he found a lot of duckweed. They pulled him out and dried him, and they blipped him on the head. They took him by the breeches, and they hurled him into ditches, and they pushed him under waterfalls. Dear, and this is what he said. You are Sir Brian, don't laugh. You are Sir Brian, don't cry. You are Sir Brian, as bold as a lion. Sir Brian, the lion, goodbye. Sir Brian struggled home again and chopped up his battle axe. Sir Brian took his fighting boots and threw them in the fire. He is quite a different person now. He hasn't got his spurs on, and he goes about the village as BrianBotany, Esquire. I am Sir Brian. Oh no. I am Sir Brian? Who's he? I haven't got any title. I'm Botany. Plain Mr. Botany. A very silly one. We like silly. Okay. This one's a bit newer, a lot newer. This is Anna and Otis. There it is. It's gorgeous. It's by Maisie Paradise Shearing. What a lovely name is that? And it's published by Two Hoops. This is Anna hanging upside down from the tree. And this is Otis, her best friend. I don't think I'd like a snake as a best friend. I'm not as brave as Anna. I'm going to wriggle a bit so that you can see it properly. Noticed on Facebook as being weird. Sorry about that. Anna and Otis were the best of friends. They loved exploring and spent long days having adventures in the garden. They had lots of fun together. Like all best friends, they argued sometimes, but they always made up very quickly. One lazy afternoon, Anna said, "I think we should go and explore town tomorrow. There must be lots of new adventures for us to have there." Otis didn't know what to say. He knew that some people were scared of snakes, even harmless ones like him, so he had never ventured further than his home or the garden. Otis saw how Gordon from next door peered over the fence at him, and how the postman delivered his letters. If this was how two people felt about him, then what would a whole town think? "Don't worry, Otis," said Anna. "You are brilliant. Only silly, mean people wouldn't like someone as great as you. Let's go." But it turned out the whole town was very silly and really quite mean. "Run! Stay back! Look! Run! Don't look! It's a snake! Not in my cafe! Sausages! Noodle!" Poor Otis. Anna had never seen Otis so sad, and it made her very cross. How could people be so unkind? "Try not to worry, Otis. People are only scared because they've never met a snake. They just don't know you yet. Let's be brave and try again." Otis didn't feel very brave, but he didn't want to let Anna down. So Anna marched straight into the first shop she came to, which happened to be Silvio's hairdresser's. "Just smile and say hello." "Hello," Anna said. "I'd like a haircut, please, and for my friend Otis, one shampoo." Shampoo?" Otis was very scared, but just as Anna had told him, he smiled and said hello. "Oh, hello." Silvio cut the same people's hair all year round, and although Otis had no hair, it was actually very nice to chat to someone new. He also looked marvellous after a shampoo. Silvio told all his customers and friends, and they told their friends too. Next, Anna and Otis went into Sally's wheels. "Hello," Anna said. "I'd like a skateboard for me and some wheels for Otis, please." Once again, Otis was scared, but just as Anna had told him, he smiled and said, "Hello, hello." Finding the perfect wheels for Otis was a little bit trickier than usual, but once Sally found the right ones, they were perfect. Wow! Do you think he could teach us that? "Maybe come to our school. He is so cool. Come to the park. I want to be like Otis. Look." Sally told all her friends, and everyone at the skate park told their friends. "Do you think I'll be able to do tricks too?" After playing at the park, everyone invited Anna and Otis to Lara's cafe for lunch. Last time I had jelly and bananas on toast. Making friends and being brave had made them both very hungry. Chef Lara was worried because she'd never made lunch for a snake before, but it turned out Otis was not at all fussy about what he ate. He is. That night, Anna invited Otis for a sleepover. They talked and talked about their day. It had been their biggest adventure yet. Then at last they went to sleep, feeling very happy. "Night, Anna. Sleep tight, Otis." After that, Anna and Otis continued to spend their days together, exploring and having adventures. Sometimes it was just the two of them, and sometimes they went to meet their friends in town, who always made them very. Oh, I still don't think I'll be brave enough to have a snake as a friend. But he does look friendly, doesn't he? He looks really friendly. Okay, this one is really old. I don't know how long I've had it for. Long time. It is by the glorious Babette Cole. The Trouble with Gran. And it was published by Picture Mammoth. So I'm not sure it exists like that anymore. But anyway, this is very, very old, but it's very funny. The Trouble with Gran. Can you guess what the trouble might be? The trouble with Gran is, secretly, she's an alien. None of the other OOPs suspected a thing. Until our teacher tried to organise an outing for them to Wetfall as our school project. But we want to go somewhere hot and exciting, said Gran. Sit down and be quiet, snapped the teacher. Wetfall was awful. Gran started to play up. We went to an old-time music hall. Gran did not like the singing. And there was a glamorous grandma contest. Most glamorous grandma. Gran cheated, of course. She really livened up at the fun fair. We were asked to leave the amusement arcade. On the lunar landscape tour, Gran met some friends. She took them to the tea rooms. Please plug them off. Slurp. So we missed the bus home. Teacher blamed Gran. We've had enough of this dump, said Gran. Fasten safety belts. We zoomed towards Gran's planet and landed just in time for Carnival. Planet Gran Carnival 1980. Gran did the limbo and climbed a bloomer-nut tree. We were sad to leave, but Gran had to get home to feed the cat. We landed in the school playground with a bump. Mum and Dad marched Gran away. You're too old for that sort of thing now, they said. That's what they think, muttered Gran. And when she got home, she opened her own travel agency. Gran Tours, fly Gran, see the world from a distance. Where would you go? Almost anywhere at the moment, I'm guessing. Somewhere. Sea, dolphins. Oh, there's a place in Barbados, I think it is, where you can go and see little piglets in the sea. That's where I'd like to go. That'd be lovely. Okay, another one. So this is called Baby Brains, and it is by Simon James. There it is. It's not a new one. It is a sweet one. And it's published by Walker Books. What do you think Baby Brains might be? Let's see. In the months before... Oh, can you see that properly? In the months before Baby Brains was born, Mrs. Brains was very busy. She read out loud every night to the baby inside her tummy. She played music and languages on headphones to her baby during the day. Mr. and Mrs. Brains wanted to make sure their baby was going to be very clever. They even turned up the television when the news came on. Mr. and Mrs. Brains were very excited when their baby was born. It was a boy. Our very own Baby Brains, said Mr. Brains proudly. When they brought him home from hospital, Mrs. Brains laid him down in the brand new cot. Sleep tight, Baby Brains, she whispered. The next morning, Mrs. Brains was on her way to get breakfast when she heard some strange noises in the living room. Mrs. Brains opened the door to see her baby sitting on the sofa reading the morning paper. By the afternoon, Baby Brains was helping mend the car. certainly got a bright one here, said Mr. Brains. That evening, Baby Brains spoke his first word. I'd like to go to school tomorrow, he said. The next day, Baby Brains visited the local school. He sat down with the children and answered all the questions. The children were amazed. At the end of the afternoon, the teacher thanked Baby Brains. I don't think I've ever learnt so much in one day, she said. On the way home, Baby Brains said he wanted to go to university and study medicine. After just 2 weeks, Baby Brains began working as a doctor at the local hospital. He is very popular with all the staff and patients. Word soon spread about the extraordinary Baby Brains. Everyone wanted to meet him. One night, some space scientists phoned. They asked if Baby Brains would like to help with their next space mission. The following day, Mr. and Mrs. Brains and their baby travelled out to the Space Centre. After training hard over the weekend, Baby Brains waved goodbye to Mr. and Mrs. Brains and blasted off into outer space. Everyone in the world held their breath as they watched Baby Brains take his first space trip. Tell us how you feel on this special occasion, radioed ground control. Baby Brains looked up at the vast starlit sky above him. He looked down at the vast starlit sky below him. He looked at the whole world in front of him and mumbled something. We can't quite hear you, radioed ground control. Could you repeat that, please? I want my mummy, wailed Baby Brains. That's enough, Mrs. Brains yelled to the space controller. Bring my baby home right now. Baby Brains was flown home as quickly as possible. He felt very embarrassed as he stepped down from the hatch. But through the crowd of photographers and cameramen, Mrs. Brains came running. Our beautiful little baby, sighed Mrs. Brains as she lifted him high in the air. Our brave little baby, said Mr. Brains. Can we go home? Said Baby Brains. At home, Mrs. Brains gave Baby Brains a warm bath, which made him feel a lot better. Mr. Brains tickled him, which made him laugh. And Mrs. Brains sang Baby Brains to sleep. Then they gently laid him down in a brand new cot. It was good to have their baby home again. Our very own Baby Brains, said Mrs. Brains. From that day on, Baby Brains spent most of his time at home doing the things that most babies do, except that it's at weekends, when he still liked to help out at the local hospital. Very sad. Okay, next one. The Incredible Book-Eating Boy, by the equally incredible, really, Oliver Jeffers, and published by HarperCollins. Can you notice something? Do you eat books? I guess if you got really hungry, you might. What do you think? Or what they taste like? Maybe a cookbook. The Incredible Book-Eating Boy. Henry loved books, but not like you and I love books. No, not quite. Henry loved to eat books. It all began quite by mistake one afternoon when he wasn't paying attention. He wasn't sure at first and tried eating a single word, just to test. Next, he tried a whole sentence and then a whole page. Yes, Henry definitely liked them. By Wednesday, he had eaten a whole book. And by the end of the month, he could eat a whole book in one go. The Incredible Book-Eating Boy. Henry loved eating all sorts of books. Storybooks, dictionaries, atlases, joke books, books of facts, even maths books. But red ones were his favourite, and he was going through them at a fierce rate. Well, here is the best bit. The more he ate, the smarter he got. A, book goes in. B, information goes to brain, brain getting bigger. C, belly gets full. He ate a book about goldfish, and then he knew what to feed Ginger. Before long, he could do his father's crossword in the newspaper, and was even smarter than his teacher at school. Henry loved being smart. He thought that if he kept going, he might even become the smartest person on earth. So he kept eating books. And he kept getting smarter and smarter and smarter. He went from eating books whole to eating them 3 or 4 at a time. Because about anything, Henry wasn't fussy, and he wanted to know it all. But then things started to go not quite so well. I'm going to eat you! In fact, they started going very, very wrong. Henry was eating too many books, and too quickly at that. Bite, chew, 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 gulp, greener, greenest, bleh. And he was beginning to feel a little ill. But here is the worst bit. Everything he was learning was getting mixed up. 6 plus 2 equals 3. 2 plus 6 equals elephants. He didn't have time to digest it properly. It became quite embarrassing for him to speak. Suddenly, Henry didn't feel smart at all. I know, miss, pick me. More than one person told him he should stop eating books. No more books. Your head and belly can't cope. Besides, it means no one else can enjoy them. The librarian saying, you are a total of... So Henry gave up eating books and sat sadly for a long time. What was he to do? Then, after a while, and almost by accident, Henry picked up a half-eaten book from the floor, but instead of putting it in his mouth, Henry opened it up and he began to read. And it was so good. Henry discovered that he loved to read, and he thought that if he read enough, he might still become the smartest person on earth. It would just take a bit longer. Now Henry reads all the time, although every now and then... Uh-oh. I don't think I'd eat it. Unless it was made of rice paper. Then I might eat it. Okay. Last one, which is definitely not new, and I'm hoping lots of you know it, and if you know it and you want to join in at home and do the actions and everything, then you can. I'm in quite a small room, as you can see, so I'm not going to do jumping around actions, but you can. So this is the amazingly classic and brilliant We're Going on a Bear Hunt by Michael Rosen and Helen Oxenbury. I should do lots of silly sound effects. You can do the leaping about, okay? We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. Oh, what a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, grass. Long, wavy grass. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no! We've got to go through it. Swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy, swishy, swashy. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a river. A deep, cold river. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Splash, 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 splash. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, mud. Thick, oozy mud. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no. we've got to go through it. Oh, squelch, 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 squelch. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a forest. A big, dark forest. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Stumble, trip, stumble, trip, stumble, trip. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a storm. A swirling, whirling snowstorm. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it. Hoo, 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 hoo. We're going on a bear hunt. We're going to catch a big one. What a beautiful day. We're not scared. Uh-oh, a cave. A narrow, gloomy cave. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. No, we've got to go through it. Tiptoe. What's that? One shiny wet nose, two big furry ears, two big goggly eyes. It's a bear! Quick, back through the cave. Tiptoe, tiptoe, tiptoe. Back through the snowstorm. Woo, 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 woo. Back through the forest. Stumble, trip, stumble, trip, stumble, trip. Back through the mud. Squelch, 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 squelch. Back through the river. Splash, 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 splash. Back through the grass. Swishy, 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 swishy. Back. Get to our front door. Open the door. Up the stairs. Oh no, we forgot to close the door. Back downstairs. Shut the door. Back upstairs. Into the bedroom. Into bed. Under the covers. Oh, we're not going on a bear hunt again. Oh, the bear just wanted a friend. Okay, that's the last story for today. I'll be back on Thursday. I don't know about you, but I think the weeks are actually going quite quickly, which is nice. Some of the days are long. Excuse me. But the weeks are whizzing by. So if you've got any particular book stories that you'd like me to read, then let me know. And if I've got it, then I shall read it to you on on a Tuesday or a Thursday. If you've missed any bits or you want to see anything again, then we've got our YouTube channel that you can go to and see me wittering on for a little while on there too. Have an amazing day. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe. And I will see you soon. You know, this bit takes me a while. Just,